Welcome to We Are Frfr. By the way, yes, this shit says cannabis cures corona. Yes. Positivity CT. Yeah, I'm from CT. Alright, so check it, man. I got a couple things I've been, like I told y'all before, I keep it a buck. So yeah, I told y'all I be watching some of y'all niggas videos, and I don't really want to drop too many names. I'm not gonna say I don't want to, but I'm not really looking at the handle. I'm paying attention to the content. And this time I forgot to pay attention to the handle. Like my other videos, when I mentioned those other people's names, I'm gonna be 100. I had to do them videos 2 and 3 times because I kept forgetting their names. But you know, this is a one taker right here. So I watched some dude's video. I forget his name, man. I forget. I smoked. There's too much of this. Short-term memory shot. PTSD type of thing. But anyway, I digress. I'm watching this dude video. I forget the name, like I said. But he was talking about, he had a question. He goes, if George Floyd's death was staged, does it matter? I think that was the question. Something of the nature. Because he said something like when them folks came to pick up George Floyd, that they didn't check his post, they just threw the nigga in the patio or in the whatever and took off. Alright. Then he posts another video. And he sheds some more, or there's a comment on the video shedding light on the information or on the situation. And this is what the info said. Brody said, or the person said on the other dude's video, he said that George Floyd and that cop worked together in a club for security, that the club was being investigated for money laundering, and more or less like George Floyd basically was blowing the whole operation by going to the store and buying bogeys with the counterfeit bills. For those who don't remember, the cops were called on George Floyd because he was in the store with counterfeit money. So now, check the fly shit. If all that shit is true, right? That him and the cop was working together, taking money laundering and all that shit. We have a different agenda now, buddy. Because that's not telling you that black lives don't matter. That's not what that was. That could have been a couple of different things. That could have been niggas tying up loose ends. That could have been niggas making sure that we need to keep this money flowing. This nigga ain't fucking the bread up. Don't act like y'all ain't never been in that situation for y'all street people. You know what I mean? Especially y'all older than 40. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And the reason why I say y'all older than 40, because back in the days, like I know out here in CT, back in the days, you used to be able to kill somebody, right? I'm talking about back in the 90s. You used to be able to go out there and fucking shoot somebody in the head, get 10 years, and come back home on parole in 3 years. So you be a convicted murderer back on the street in 3 years for fucking bodying somebody. Premeditated murder, damn near type shit. Remember, this is the 90s. The law was only like 35%. Shit was different. So if you told on a nigga, you got bodied and the nigga came right back home. Time was different. So these niggas, so now if you're in that type of operation and you making major bank, that's because that's the number one thing is the amount of money they was making, because that'll determine the value of that person's life. What I mean to tell you is, if I'm got a club running, right, and I'm making millions of dollars off the books, cleaning money, millions of dollars. So think about how many people are depending on the money that I'm making to clean this money up, however I'm doing it. And this one motherfucker about to fuck up the operation. You think I won't body that nigga? I don't give a fuck what race that nigga is. You know what I mean? Because now you talk about other people's well-beings. Other people, for all you know, your person that orchestrated that whole thing, he probably got 1 million kids to feed. He not thinking about him. He thinking about his family. He thinking about, for all you know, because some of y'all, my L off, hold up. And I try not even to smoke on my lives or on my videos. But hold up. This is a part of the game that some of y'all ain't privy to, because y'all ain't never make it up that high or gone that deep. All right, so check it out. Let me give you a little bit more information about the illegal dealings of that type of lifestyle. After you get to a certain echelon and you're making a certain amount of bread for someone, right? Little unbeknownst to you, you are now married to that person. Because now that person is counting on your bank. And that person don't give a fuck what you going through. Like cartels, they don't give a fuck if the feds is on you. If somebody just kidnapped your mother, them niggas don't give a fuck. They counting on your bread. You get, after you deal with so many cartels and that type of high echelon people, you get, it's called being married. You're married. The only way out the game for you is called death. Yeah, buddy. After a certain amount of cake you make, niggas don't give a fuck what it is, B. They don't give a fuck what the problem is. If you're gonna fuck up this bread, it's easier to kill you than to fuck up the bread. So check it. They said during all that protesting of the George Floyd shit, that the club that they worked for was being investigated by the FBI. That shit got burned down during the protests. So now their whole investigation is basically a wrap now, because what they were doing is done now. So when they say if his death was a staged thing, does it matter? You fucking right, it matters. Because now you guys to wonder, well, wait, if that's a fact, why do they want us to police ourselves? Because if his death was staged, that means all the protesting, all the shit that's going on, everything that we're gonna want is expected and is part of the plan that they put in place, but our dumbasses is going along with it. Like I said in my other videos, your vote don't matter because they select who you can elect. That means that their plans are always gonna be in place. It don't matter who's in office because they put the person in office. They're the plan. The president is the plan. The president is just like he's basically the Tony the Tiger of the cereal box. That nigga don't hold no weight. He's just the actor. He's just the face. You know what I mean? The real niggas that hold, we talked about this, the niggas that make the actual decisions are the people in Congress. The people who passes the laws, who make the laws, all that shit. And how does that go? If y'all don't know, it's let me rub your back so later on you can rub mine. Let me put all this paper in your pocket because later I'm gonna need you to do me a favor and push this law through. That's what lobbying is. These niggas is doing whatever they could get, doing whatever they think they could do to get the billionaire company people, them CEOs to come pay them money so they could fix laws, so they could get tax breaks. Let me rub your back now so later you could rub mine. When I own a big ass hotel, what I do, I comp you everything. Y'all niggas see the movie Casino. You remember what happened to Robert De Niro when he was letting that nigga get all that money, live all that shit up? And then when Robert De Niro went to go get that license, the same nigga that he gave everything for free shitted on him. That's what America does. America will use you up, and when it's time for her to pay you, she will shit on you. Remember what they said, 40 acres in a mule? Use you up, and when it's daytime to pay up, shit on you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, let's say you get $100 million contract. You're like, yo, I'm caking. I got $100 mil. In reality, you'd have held out a little longer. That shit probably would have been 500 mil. They figured out a way how to fuck you. Get what I'm saying? Like, if the George Floyd shit is fake, then we need to question where are we headed to. That means if the George Floyd shit was fake, that means everything my son is fighting for and all these people protesting, that's part of the plan. Because think about it, that means that they expected for us to do that. Excuse me. That means they expected for us to do that. They know this shit. They think outside the bun, as they say. You know what I mean? Like, they know how they give us our options and tell us to react like this. That's what we need to be asking ourselves. Where the fuck is we headed to? Like, they talk about we don't need to police. We don't need them. We can police ourselves. Right? That's what he said. Do you know where that comes from? Do you have any idea of your fucking history? That was literally what the Black Panthers was doing. But the difference from then to now is that some of the Black Panthers are still in jail today. 46, almost 50 years later. 46, 50 fucking years. These niggas been locked up. No charges. Just, they call political prisoners. They're locked up under the Terrorist Act. That means all these niggas got to do is pull you out your cell once every 90 days and pull you right back. Pull you out your cell, ask you a couple questions, and pull you right back and keep you in jail in a federal prison with no bond, no nothing, no trial, no nothing. You're under the Terrorist Act. A domesticated terrorist, because you're from the U.S., you're not from outside. So you're a domesticated terrorist. And that's where you'll get held under. So the Black Panthers wanted us to police ourselves in the times where we were about pro-us, when we were about educating ourselves, at a time when we were about unity, in a time when we were about fighting the oppressor. Think about that. And that's how gangs started. Gangs started by fighting the oppressor being the cops, the oppressor being your system, the oppressor being your education system, your education, because they grow you up to be stupid. So they wanted to educate themselves. It wasn't just about policing. It wasn't just about that. It was more than that. So when you say, oh, we need to police ourselves, I don't think that's a good idea in today's day. Because the motherfuckers that's gonna police us aren't in the right state of mind. They aren't in the same state of mind as them were as when they were in the Black Panther Party. Because them dudes was talking more or less of, we could police ourselves because you're abusing us. We can educate ourselves because the shit you're teaching us is basically, in a metaphorical way, if education was food, the shit they giving us is like Subway, McDonald's, and the shit they getting is like fucking better than Ruth's Chris Steakhouse type shit for educational metaphors, if you get what I'm saying. These niggas teaching us watered down education, shit that ain't even fucking important. You know what I mean? This is what they was talking about. It wasn't just about one thing. So now let's explore this, right? So what we gonna do? The cops ain't gonna come, right? So that means a bunch of motherfuckers like me is gonna be out here, right? Now let's just say an ignorant motherfucker like me, he gonna apply, do whatever. However you gotta go about policing yourself to get paid from the government so you don't have to sell drugs, you don't have to rob. I get that aspect of it, I do. But now, what you gonna do when that ignorant motherfucker that's smart enough that, in Spanish we call it labia, right? When a nigga hits you with that labia. In other words, when a nigga hits you with that game, right? He game you so good that you think he a good guy. And you give him that badge and that gun, right? But this motherfucker really a grimy motherfucker. But he just so smart. He know how to play you too like you're a fiddle. Like he knows how to play to you so he can get what he wants. And now you get this grimy nigga a badge and a gun and he doing wild shit out there. Who gonna police him? Get what I'm saying? Who gonna police him? Right? So now if you in a big ass state like Cali, there's a whole lot more motherfuckers like him. Not saying that Cali got bad people, but Cali got a higher population. So if you're dealing in a state that has only 1,000 people, right? And them 1,000 people have 100 bad ones. So now let's say Cali has 10,000 people. Now you just 10 times that 100 to 1,000. Now you have 1,000. You get what I'm saying? That's all I mean. The higher the population, the more bad apples you have to deal with. So who's going to police the bad apples? Fuck that. Because that's not even the point I'm getting to. Open your brain. After them bad apples come, because you know how that shit go, it only take one bad apple to fuck everything up, right? So when everybody's doing this wild shit and the bad apples are showing, what you think the U.S. government gonna do? It's gonna be that much easier for them to in place your martial law. It's gonna be that much more simpler for them to come with this martial law shit. And you should know, if you're smart enough, it ain't gonna be U.S. motherfucking military niggas coming. It's not. You know what that treaty was that they signed through NATO? It was for that purpose. If these countries act retarded, American soldiers are going to go to that country and those country soldiers are going to come here. So there's no emotional tie between the soldier and the person. They're going to look at us like we're animals because they're not from here. Get what I'm saying? And then what comes after that? Your new world order, your new world money, your new everything is one. It's almost like we're helping them get to what the fuck they want to do. And they just got everything. It's like what Martin Luther King said, we're in smoke-filled rooms thinking that's reality. That's actually in a song, yo. That's actually in a fucking Tupac song. Ain't that a bitch? What the fuck, man? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. We want change, right? Fuck the police. It's like we got our aim down here. Our aim needs to be higher. Fuck the police. The police only do what they told. Fuck the police. The power and lies in the pen. That Constitution has to change. Fuck the cops, fuck the judges, fuck the money, fuck the jobs, fuck all that shit. Fuck the economy, fuck none of that shit matters. The minute you open that Constitution and you make us all 5/5, like the white man is, a 5/5. I don't know what race is a 4/5. I'm trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's like when they say K1 visa, right? Well, what the fuck is a J2 then? You had to get from A to K. What all the rest of them letters for? You know what I mean? Like, what? I always hear of sovereign citizens coming to the U.S. doing whatever and get away with it because they sovereign citizens. Some of y'all might know them by another word called diplomat. They have diplomatic immunity, but the actual statute is that they're sovereign citizens. That's why they get away with it. I've never heard of a sovereign citizen from the U.S. in another country, though. But I've always heard of them niggas coming here. Like, why is that? You telling me if I'm rich as fuck from another country, I could pay you enough money to come here, kill a bunch of motherfuckers, and then go back home like nothing happened? And if I kill the right motherfuckers, maybe the government will give me a check? I know, this is the type of shit niggas don't want to hear, but it's actual facts. Like, when people be like, yo, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, who the fuck is they that says we can't do this and we can't do that? Is that the same motherfuckers that enslaved us? Is that the same motherfucker that figured out a system how to keep us enslaved for the rest of our natural beings? This is the same person that you're saying, oh, let's not fund the cops, fund us. It's the same people. Where's the progression? Where? Like, where? Like, I don't understand where it's at. I don't see it. You talking about we gonna police ourselves, right? All right, I got another question. Okay. So if we're going to police ourselves, right, let's say that means I'm a cop. That means I feel some type of way because I grew up a street nigga. So now if I'm a cop now, what the fuck I'm going to do with the people I arrest? What am I supposed to do with them? Because, you know, I'm a cop now and I'm copping my own community. So that means every community has to build a police station now? A holding center? And when all that happens, how do you carry the justice from my community arrest to your U.S. governmental judicial system when they go see that judge? How do you carry that from that? How do you make that connect? If we telling them we don't need them to police us, then why do we need them to punish us? So now we're going to come up with a whole justice system now? Where the fuck is this shit going? Like, I understand that you want to change. I get that. Maybe the police ain't the change. Maybe that's not where we need to be. Get what I'm saying? Maybe, how do you say? Just because that pitch that's coming down the pike might look good don't mean it's good. Ask how many Boston Red Sox people got struck out by Mariano Rivera. Ask. That pitch looked awesome coming down. But when that motherfucker's 2 feet from the plate and that bitch break in on you and you swinging for something that ain't there no more, maybe we shouldn't swing at that pitch. Just because it looked good don't mean it is good. Why? What is it? Taking the cops away? Is that the first option they give us? So that means we become the cops and that's the justice for George Floyd? Is that the change? Is that the change? Because motherfuckers are still going to grow up poor. If you a black dude and you go out there and kill a white motherfucker, you'll never see the time of light again. But if you a white motherfucker and kill a black nigga, they might just let you walk away. That'll never change. You know why? Because it's the law. Why it's the law? Because as the law, we are only viewed as 3/5. We're not important to them. Fuck the police. That's small cakes. You worried about the crumbs or you worried about throwing something in the oven? What the fuck you want? You want a Hot Pocket? Because that's a quick solve. Oh, let's knock out the police. Oh, okay. What the fuck does the police have to do with you getting a job? What does the police have to do with you getting a better education? Because that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the police trust me. I done fought plenty of, trust me. I have those type of convictions on my, trust me. I do not advocate for the police. I'm not that person. But I'm talking about the repercussion of what will come from that. We're not looking far enough ahead. Because remember, the cops, the justice system, the police, the prison system, the counties, all that is wrapped in together. That's all basically one unit. So if you take the police out, what if you the cop, right? Or what if you're a victim and you call in the community police, but the community cop that comes to you is a motherfucker you don't get along with for whatever reason. Maybe he bullied you. Maybe the nigga fucked your girl. Maybe whatever. What if the community police that come to help you is somebody you don't get along with? What if it's somebody you literally had a problem with since middle school? How do you solve that problem? These are shit that you ain't thinking about this. Like, I get it. We want change. We need change. Absolute change. I am with it. But that don't mean end the cause and the first cop out they give us. Just because the first nigga come through with a deal don't mean that's the best deal. Like, y'all should know this. Man, it's like poker. Fold that shit up, man. We ain't taking that. What? There's no more. I haven't even. Yo, what? There's going to be no more police and then that's the end of it? That's it? They're still going to look at us the same. They're going to figure out a way. All right, let's say they let us police ourselves. What's to stop them from busting that income down? If they already given, let's say they're giving all the police departments in your state, let's say every month they getting a $10 million fucking income or whatever it's called. They give them $10 million a month to police your city, right? Now you gonna police your own city. Who's to say they're not only gonna throw y'all niggas like $1 million? Police your own shit. That's it. 800,000. Because you don't know how much they was been getting. You're not privy to that. Because you just jumping in this shit. These niggas ain't coming to work, right? So that means you're gonna start policing yourself when? Tomorrow. If they're not coming to work yesterday, that means by tomorrow you're gonna start going to work. How much information you done gathered about your job in 48 hours? Most of them niggas done went home, got the fucking smoking there with their girls. Where all this shit, where the repercussion? The change we need is in the Constitution, man. Nowhere the fuck else. Once you open up that Constitution and make us 5/5, everything reflects after that and under that. You know that. Once that law looks at you as equal, everything looks at you as equal. Like, think about it. If your complexion is a little bit darker, I remember hearing this shit when I was a kid. I don't know how true it is. That's why I'm going to put it out there. Maybe somebody can help me out. I was always told if you're white, you born with like an 800. And if you poor, nigga, you born with like a 0. Credit score is what I'm talking about. Once you even up the law, all that shit even. Once you go for a loan, they're going to look at you the way they look at that white person. Once you go for apply a job, they're going to look at you the way you look at that white person. Because y'all all equal. Instead of telling a job, like, think about this. You tell me what other type of people have a program set up, right? So if you hire a convicted felon, the company gets a bonus on their taxes for hiring a convicted felon. Like, they do all of this shit instead of just making us all equal, which is a lot easier. What are they so afraid of? What are you so afraid of that if we're all in a race and we all start at the same line? What are you so afraid of? You don't want to lose that head start that you got from the slaves? Why don't you admit that you got the head start from the slaves and maybe we could begin the dialogue? I don't know. But all I know, protesting, marching, burning shit, that shit only gonna go so far. You know what I mean? Talking, I don't know. Without dialogue, you'll never get the answer in which we need, the answer in which we search. So maybe dialogue is the way, but nevertheless, the result needs be open up that Constitution and make us equal. Once you make us equal, see the effect it'll have. Watch the ripple, how it turns all the way out. And America, white America in particular, Stop trying to shove off all the problems on other races because you too busy worried that maybe America will make white America take responsibility for all their actions. Is that what you afraid of? That you'll have to come out and tell the world that you've been the shitty motherfuckers all this time? That when people say, yo, Al-Qaeda, and I say, you mean America? And they look at me like, what? And you say, yeah, nigga, America went down there and trained them soldiers. America went down there and gave them soldiers the uniforms. America went down there and gave them dudes the weapons. And then them niggas turned around on America and said, fuck you, you the ones that been murdering us this whole time. And now we call them terrorists. But if it wasn't for us giving them the guns, would they be terrorists? Think about that. Because that's what it is. It's like America is the dude that comes around getting in everybody's business. But the minute you try to tell that nigga, like, yo, I understand you trying to get in my biz, but my guy, you got a circus in your backyard. And then the nigga get tight because you trying to make him aware of his own bullshit. But yeah, he feel like he got the right to tell you and get involved about your bullshit. Why don't you fix up our own backyard? Why don't you make us all equal? Why don't you figure out which one of you government officials is dropping all them guns off in fucking Chicago? How in the fuck? Last year, yo. No lie, B. Last year. I think it was like 100-something motherfuckers died in a weekend, B. Yo, they said it was like 30 to 50-something drive-bys. My nigga, do you understand what that shit meant? 50-something drive-bys? 50. Let's just give it 50. That means it was 200 motherfuckers out there shooting. Because, you know, you typically doing a drive-by, typically it's 3-4 deep. If it's 4 deep, 50 shootings, how many niggas is that? Do that math again. You talking at least 400 or 500 people just straight clapping. We not even talking about victims. Because we don't, you know what I mean? We talking about actual gunfire. Imagine how many people missed. Imagine how many shots didn't get reported. Now, fuck all that. Where are them weapons coming from? If the only people in this country, in this país, in this island, in this country, if the only people that are able to make weapons are government workers, where they getting their guns from? Ain't nobody in their basement making guns. I had an uncle that did that wild shit. But that's neither here nor there. But that's not what's happening. Niggas ain't down there making guns in their basement and coming out. Them weapons is coming from the military, B, because that's who the weapons is made for. Those are all government contracts. Open your fucking brains, man. We are 5/5, man. We got to fight the fucking power, man, because that's who's fucking killing us. That's who's making us kill each other. That's who's making us think we're making progression, when in actuality, we're just helping them fuck us later. And stay woke, man. We are 5/5.